2 years ago, I started training for HYROX. I made one change to my approach and my times dropped. In this video, I'm going to tell you what it was and how to implement it. This is the beginner's guide to HYROX. So before we get to that all-important change, let's talk about structure to training. It's crucial. There's nothing complicated about HYROX. That's why it's so accessible and why it's blowing up so much. It gives us all a chance to do a race, set a baseline, and come back and beat it. You're gonna want to come back. The events are a lot of fun, and it gives you a chance to see the hard work paying off. So, how should you structure your training? Now, it's important to be honest with yourself and really look at how much you can commit to your training and where you're currently at. If you're completely new to sport, that's fine. It just means I'd be focusing on 2 run sessions a week, 2 functional sessions a week. Now for me, that's what I call the skeleton. That's the basics, that's the minimum. Those 4 sessions are what you're gonna prioritize. They're gonna what you put on the calendar every week. So to say, Tuesday is a run day. So from now until then, every Tuesday, you're committed. That's the day you run. And it's just about building those habits and those routines so you know what you've got to get in that week. If you get a chance to squeeze an extra session in, then great. I'd make that a low intensity session. Really build up that cardio, build up that volume. If you can do it running, brilliant. But cycling's also a really good option. For someone who's new to sport, you want to build up that capacity. You don't want to increase the volume of the running too much, too quick. Now if you've got some experience with running, and you feel a little bit more comfortable knowing that you're going to be able to cover the distance, I'd spend that time focusing on the functional. People often overlook stations like the ski and the row, where you might be able to get through these in an okay time, especially the ski. When it comes to that first station, you've just come off the run, your adrenaline's through the roof, when it comes to a sky-high heart rate, then it's a different thing altogether. I want to practice those stations and get really efficient at them. Spending time on those machines will really help your efficiency and let you settle in for the remainder of the event. Okay, so my racing completely changed when I embraced the idea of transition work. You can run and you can functional train, but if you're not practicing going from a hard effort to a fast run, your body's gonna freak out on the day. Often, people get lost in the rock zone, finishing their station and then walking to the out zone to start their next 1 kilometer. The clock hasn't stopped. We, myself included, need to practice that transition. Time is running away from us there. Some of this is a mental challenge, and just knowing that this is not a rest zone can completely change how you approach that part of the race. However, we do want to be prepared for that lactic build-up. We want to be able to get back up to pace and not just shuffle through. As an example, I like to do short, sharp efforts with a quick turnover after. During the event, after about 30 seconds of running, we generally settle back into our run pace, so this is what we're going to practice. I want you to try 60 meters, fast sled push, get that lactic going, right into 30 seconds hard on the treadmill. Take a short break and go again. These sessions are simple, effective, undervalued, and often overlooked. There's no point having a fast run if you can't execute after the stations. I did mention a bonus tip, but just before, do me a favor, hit that like and subscribe button. It helps me continue creating content. So, if people do this type of work, they often look at the sleds, which you should. They're brutal, and you've got to get used to getting rid of that lactic and be able to run again. But my tip for you is to do this not just on the sleds where you get the stiff legs, but on the ski erg, the row, and the burpee broad jumps, where your heart rate is sky high, and then you've got to get that back under control and try and start running again. Practicing that where your heart rate is jacked and trying to run is so important. Getting that feeling if you're a beginner for the first time during the race, it can set panic mode in a little bit. And those doubts can start creeping in, and you don't need that, you don't want it. If you've practiced it, you can battle it, get in, give them a go. You can do this.